He's a bad beast on that barbecue, on the grill or the smoker. He knows just what to do. He's a bad beast on that barbecue.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode of Bad Beast Barbecue. Hey, today we're going to be doing some crispy pork belly, okay? This is, I have here about 2¼ pounds of pork belly with the skin on, and we're going to be cooking this in the Tec Mini today, and we're going to be using a technique I've never tried before. I've been a little leery about salt crust, so we're going to be using 1 cup of kosher salt to encrust the skin of the pork belly after it marinates. Put it out on the smoker, and then after the meat cooks, we're going to crack that salt crust off of the pork belly, and then we're going to wipe it off and then let it continue to cook at a high temperature in order to achieve our crispy crust. Now, I guess the thought process is that the salt will draw out most of the moisture out of the skin, leaving you with the skin in the proper dryness in order to crisp up under high temperature. Okay, so, and plus the original recipe calls to do this in the oven, but we'll do this on the pellet smoker to see if we can add some additional smoke flavor. Okay, do me a favor, guys, and comment in the down in the description block below. We're trying out a new tripod here. We bought a new tripod, and it extends up to like 72 inches. So I kind of like that slightly vertical down look onto the scene here, because you guys can see more of the counter space instead of that straight on look. So let me know what you think about this, if it's too high, if it's a good view or what have you, and then we'll adjust accordingly. Okay, so in preparation for this, all we did was trim it off to even it off, and I took off some of the silver skin underneath the pork belly earlier today. So we got this in a small container, and we're going to marinate this for a few hours. Okay, this says marinated for a few hours, for several hours, or overnight. And we're going to marinate this from 4 to 5 hours. Okay, and this is the marinade we're going to be using. Now, this marinade contains soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, brown sugar, garlic, minced garlic, and we added 1 teaspoon of Louisiana Hot Sauce to give it a little extra kick. Okay, so we we put it in our little bowl here, and all we have to do is pour this around the pork belly without letting it touch or cover the skin, to allow the skin to dry out in the refrigerator. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. All right, guys, so here's our pork belly, and this is our marinades. Go ahead and take the top off, and I just want to slowly drizzle this so that, turn it a little bit, so that I can hit this. Oh shoot, I got the skin anyway, so I'm going to dry that off. All right, so as you can see, the marinade is hitting the meat, but not the skin. I'll have to wipe that off. Clumsy me. All right, so we got some paper towel here. So I'm gonna dry this. Hopefully that doesn't affect it. Alright, guys, so we got our marinade poured around our pork belly. The one thing we're going to do is we're going to put it down here in the refrigerator, and we're going to let it marinate for 4 to 5 hours. And then we'll come back, we'll set up the pan and everything, and then we'll show you how we do the salt crust, and we'll throw it out on the Tec. So hey, hang around and don't go nowhere. Alright, guys, so it's been 4 hours. We've let the pork belly marinate in the refrigerator to try to dry out the skin a little bit. And and get it marinated. I wanted to do it overnight, but I wanted to go ahead and get this video done, so hopefully it marinated long enough to get some flavor into it, okay? So you see we got our pork butt here, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this on our rack. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna carefully take this out of here. Try not to get the skin wet. And we're gonna place this on the rack just like so. All right. All right, I'm gonna clean my hands and we'll be right back. All right, so now that we got our pork belly laid out here, we're gonna go ahead and lay our kosher salt on here. Now the original recipe just said salt, it didn't say kosher salt. I still don't trust regular salt, even because this is the first time I'm doing this crust thing here. So we're gonna go ahead and pile this on here, and hopefully this works out. So we got roughly a cup of kosher salt here, and I'm just gonna lay it on thick. Or as thick as I can, because some of it's gonna fall off the edge. All right. So hopefully this comes off in one big sheet or broken pieces of salt before we do the final cook on it. So, all right, I think we got enough salt on there to make a crust. All right, so that's it. So we're gonna go ahead and we have the Tec Mini outside. It's heating up, so we're gonna take this upstairs carefully, not to waste our salt everywhere. And we're gonna put this in a Tec Mini. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna temp my pork belly till it reaches close to 165 degrees, and then that's terrible. I guess I'm gonna have to free temp it then, because I'm wasting salt. I'm wasting salt everywhere. So I'm gonna temp this. When it gets close to 165 degrees, then I'll go ahead and crack off the salt crust, and then we'll go ahead and put it back in after we clean it off at a higher temperature, like 450, and see if we can get this skin to sear nice and dry. So, but let's go ahead and head out to the deck. So, come on. Alright guys, so we finished with our cook, and it didn't go exactly like I wanted it to. It smells good, but as far as blistering and crisping up the skin, Leaving it out in the smoker at 465 degrees like the instructions said didn't blister the skin well enough. So I took it and I put it under the broiler in the oven, and I had it a little too close to the broiler, so some of the areas are a little dark, and it didn't quite, the entire thing didn't quite blister like I wanted. But I don't know if you can hear it, but let's see. Some of the areas are pretty crispy, so I'm interested in seeing how this tastes and then how the whole thing pans out, okay? But before we do that, let me go ahead and give you a close-up look. So as you can see, a lot of the surface blistered. There are some dark areas there. The meat looks like it's a nice, great color. It temped it out at 165, 170 degrees when we pulled it out of the smoker. It's got a great aroma, nice glisten to some of the areas on the skin. So let's go ahead and cut into this and see how it tastes. All right, let's go ahead and cut into this. See what we have. Now, it's been resting for about 15-20 minutes or so. So we'll go ahead and cut into this. Oh, now that sounded real good there. All right, there we go. Nice and juicy. Well, you can definitely hear the crackling portion of it, so I'm interested in seeing how this is going to taste. All right, take a look at that right there. That looks fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and taste it. All right, before we taste this, I'm gonna cut this down to another smaller piece. I don't want to put this big old piece in my mouth. But I love the way that crackling portion of it sounds. All right, let's see. It's got a great aroma to it. I'm wondering if I let it marinate long enough for the soy sauce and the garlic and the rice wine vinegar to marinate and to penetrate the meat. So let's see what we got. Oh yeah, this is some good pork belly, man. And the skin is nice and crispy, as I hope you heard from the cutting through it. And it's got a nice smoke flavor to it from the smoker. But I taste some of the marinade. It's not salty at all. So the salt crust, all it did was help draw the moisture out of the skin to help crisp it up without overly salting the skin. But it's got some nice flavor to it, but not as intense as I would have liked to have had it if it had marinated overnight. So I think next time we'll try to marinate this overnight, okay? So, yeah, try one more piece of this. That fat rendered out real well. Only thing that's missing is a little dipping sauce, so may cut this up and get your little soy sauce type dipping sauce with a few chopsticks and go to town, man. So, well, this came out pretty good, to say that the skin didn't quite blister perfectly like I wanted to, but the no cook is perfect, okay? So, well, that's all we have time for. If you guys are interested in a RecTec pellet grill, check out the guys at tecgrills.com. They have a great line of smokers, and you might be interested in one of those. I'll put the description and the recipe and everything down in the description block as normal, okay? Also, if you guys are interested, some people have been asking about t-shirts, and we're still fighting to get our website up online. But if you're interested in any one of the t-shirts that you see here, just go ahead and shoot me an email, and then I will send you a link to where you can order whatever shirt you want, size and things, and we'll manually order the shirt until our website comes online, okay? We appreciate everybody's support. We recently went over 17,000 subscribers, so hopefully we can keep growing and keep giving you material and keep entertaining you guys. So, well, that's all we have time for tonight. Like we always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And if it's fire, then damn it, there just might be a barbecue there. Hey guys, don't forget to comment and let me know what you think about this new camera angle that's a little bit higher up, okay? It shows you more of the surface, okay? Hey, and as always, we'll see you guys around the smoker.